You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
Well, I'm very pleased to welcome in my next guest into the Kiwi studio, Mark Broatch. He is the book editor at the Sunday Star Times and now an author himself. In a Word is the name of this brand new book, The Essential Tool for Finding the Perfect Word. So if you ever find yourself lost for a word, I know I always am, on a daily basis, every day in the morning, lost for words. Maybe I need this book handy with me. Well, I've got Mark Broatch handy in the Kiwi studio this morning. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Lovely to have you in. Book editor, by the way, what does that mean? What do you do, book editor?
Book editor means I organise all the reviews and features and anything to do with books within the focus section.
Okay, and do you kind of divvy out the books to the reviewers?
Yeah. And make sure they give me reviews back as a result.
Gosh, that must be a good place to be. You must get a lot of freebies.
Freebies, yeah. Oh, you get some nice ones coming in.
Yeah.
And you don't have to write terribly much, and there you get a nice book. But
yeah. Well, you've put together this. I guess a reference book, would you say?
Yeah,
is that what you call it? A reference book?
Yeah.
In a Word, the essential tool for finding the perfect word. Why?
Why? Because I'm a reference book freak, and I've got about 100 or something reference books. Thesaurus's dictionaries. All sorts of weird stuff. I know I've had them from a kid, and they just didn't quite do it for me. I was always searching for something beyond, and I kindly figured it out, and I didn't figure it out until I'd actually written the thing. What I was looking for particularly was I was looking for words that said whether something, because I'm a sort of working writer and editor and reviewer as well. So
yeah.
I was always looking for a word that was positive or negative or neutral, something that gave you a bit of nuance, and you don't always get that from thesaurus and dictionaries.
And always, I know I struggle to find a fresh word. I think, oh man,
Yeah.
I've already used that before in this paragraph, or I used it yesterday. I'd like to use a new word.
Yeah, the first section, the very first section of the first section's called vocabulary. I can't even say it. And but the very first section's like a 6,000 word thesaurus devoted to describing stuff. And if something's good, bad, or indifferent, there's lots of words you can like if you want to say something's muddled or boring or manipulative or stupid. There's lots and lots of words there. You shouldn't ever be complaining you can't find the right word if that's the kind of word you're looking for.
What's different about this to a thesaurus, though?
Well, as I say, part of it's the way it's sort of laid out. It's laid out into 4 sections: vocab, characterization, which is about describing people. Third section's called terminology, which is actually about critiquing stuff, how to make an argument. Lots of useful terms in there. And the last section's reference. But as I say, that the big thing for me is those ones at the front, 6,500 words on how to describe something. But how to describe something as positive or negative or neutral or ambiguous. That to me is quite. That's not something I get from a dictionary or a thesaurus straight away.
Well, I've actually just flicked to one that I find I'm commonly always looking for another word for, and that is large.
Large, yeah. That's the good example, and I sort of added that in as I was going through, and I was thinking, well, okay, you need all those things, good, bad, but you need the neutral ones like large, small.
You do, don't you? Because those words don't seem to be enough these days.
No, and as I say, there's I found as many as I possibly could of stuff that's just if you want to describe something as wide or brief or fashionable, there's lots of words you can if you're short of a word. I mean,
A lot of people are going to be looking for words to describe something that's fashionable this week with the Fashion Week in town.
What page is that? I think it's page 33. It is. Yeah.
So people are going to be wanting to say
all the rage, avant-garde, she, contemporary, cool, current, designer, forward-looking,
swank, swish, styly, snazzy.
No excuse.
But nothing for. Oh, what about something that's non-fashionable?
Unfashionable?
Yeah.
I think it'd be under bad. I hope it is anyway. Because
did I just make up a word just then? Non-fashionable.
I think you did. I think you might have.
I do that all the time as well. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. What's the
Not new, yeah. There you go. There's 100 things under not new.
Not new. Okay.
Not new.
Well, what's
Hackneyed.
hackneyed?
There's a good one.
Really?
Yeah. Hackneyed. That's a good word.
Because isn't Hackney? Oh no, or what am I thinking of? Hockney? Hackney? Isn't Hackney like a
Place in London.
place or?
Hackneyed though means kind of old hat and
Okay.
dull and used, cliched.
Yeah.
You know.
As part of this kind of keeping some words alive, dredging them up and keeping them alive that have fallen out of favour.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think there's never been more words out in the world as there are now. I mean, the internet's chock-a-block with blogs and tweets and Facebooking and so on. But we use a narrow range. English is probably I'm certain it's got the biggest vocab of any language, and there's all sorts of different ways to do it. And if you're looking for precision, that's where you go to the front section. Then there's colourful language, then there's fancy language if you want to show off. So and we're just so guilty of not using half the words we can do.
Would you consider yourself a bit of a grammar Nazi?
I'm not a grammar Nazi. I mean, I think we should stick to the rules as are, but I'm always interested in new ways of doing things. I mean, I don't think you should throw out a new word or expression just for the fact it's new. If it's useful, I'll look at it. But
do you get into sort of the urban dictionary?
Sure, yeah.
Kind of words that are contemporary and made up in the last few years.
I'm really interested in neologisms. I'm really interested in that because I just think English is always changing. So while I'll stick to the rules, that's great. And that's part of my job within the paper. But also, we shouldn't be afraid to say, well, actually you can split an infinitive, and actually you can. It's I just think it's I mean anyway the world's not going to let you. I mean as you say, the urban dictionaries they're not going to let you stop, which is great.
A particular thing that is very popular with the New Zealanders at the moment is drinking, and I can see you've got a section on that of feeling drunk, inebriated, intoxicated, pixelated, like one smashed, tipsy, toasted, squiffy.
I had to actually leave a whole lot out because you just go to the internet and you can find 100 different terms for it.
Is it true that the Eskimos have like 1,000 words for snow?
I think they have. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think they have words that we would consider. I think they have words for soft snow, hard snow, stuff. Yeah, so they are, but they aren't. You know what I mean? I mean, It's like us saying, I can't think of anything at the moment, but I'm sure that they do, but they don't. We wouldn't consider them words, I don't think. But I don't know, the Eskimo, I think Inuit, isn't it? Anyway, you can't say Eskimo anymore. That's Eskimo pies.
Yeah.
Well,
or Eskimo lollies.
Yeah.
Very un-PC, apparently.
Yeah.
Un-PC. Is that a word?
Possibly. I don't think I've got anything on PC in here, but I'm sure there's the equivalent in there somewhere.
You got, and I like this section here where we say disability, fat, pregnancy, sex, but then under that you have
this is the characterization section. Describing people. Yeah. That's not very PC, is it? Calling people fat.
I guess what you're saying here, because if you've got a section on war, it's words that you might use if you were talking about war, like body count, collateral damage, conflict, friendly fire, preemptive strike. So there's not actually describing war, but things that you would use at the topic of war. There's
an awful lot of word associations. There's a few more at the back that to be honest, they couldn't fit anywhere else. I sort of found myself, as I was collecting the words, basically I spent... If you don't know, I spent about 5 years, sort of 4 years, collecting words from all the stuff I'd read, and I read an awful lot, and I read the best kind of writers on the planet.
I bet you do, yeah.
And but you can these days on the internet. New York Times, Guardian, Observer, Telegraph, all those really good papers, and magazines, The Atlantic and stuff. And you know, I just noted all the words, and so, but I tried to fit them into the slots that as we, you know, once I got talking to the publisher, we sort of decided, but they didn't always fit. So yeah, I mean, there is a few at the back, but there is a lot of word associations in here, which is kind of what you're looking for. Sometimes you're just looking for a type of word rather than the actual word.
Yeah. Would it be helpful with crosswords?
For word building, I think. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know there's already dictionaries for crosswords out there, but if you're looking to build your vocab, I think it's a fun way to do it too, I think. I mean, you know, because language is fun. I find it fun anyway. Maybe not everybody finds it fun.
Are you hoping for the book to sweep the world?
Sweep the world, that'd be great. Apparently, yeah, but it's already listed on overseas sites, but I mean, I don't know if it's sold at all, but yet over there. But you know, I mean, I aimed it at a sort of Commonwealth audience.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, it's not specifically New Zealand. I snuck a few New Zealand words in there, but generally, it's sort of the world of English.
Well, I think people will find it very handy. It is called Inner Words, the essential tool for finding the perfect word. Mark Broatch, thanks so much for joining us in the Kiwi studio.